Коллеги, всем добрый день. Рад приветствовать вас на нашей сессии «Закупки. Перспективе развития цифровизации закупок. Экосистема в рамках 44-го федерального закона». Меня зовут Кулешов Максим Евгеньевич. Я являюсь заместителем коммерческого директора электронной площадки «Фабрикант». Выражаю отдельную благодарность организатору сегодняшней сессии. Это Государственный комитет.
We would like to express our gratitude to the State Committee of Competitive Policy, and today we would have the following speakers. Gulshat Arslanova, the head of the State Committee of Bashkortostan in Competitive Policy, and her speech will be dedicated on digitization of procurement. Then I will speak about effective digital solutions for business. Then we'll have Aydar Bagaulov, the head of the Department of Bashkortostan Competitive Policy Division on digitization of procurement. Then Valik Gafarov, CEO of ATMO, about ATMO as the reliable bridge between the government and business, and we'll also dedicate we'll have a dedicated Q&A session. Now I would like to give the floor to Gulshat. Thank you very much, Maxim. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. In the first thing, I would like to thank the organizers and those who decorated our conference room, and I would also like to wish all the good and prosperity and health for Christmas and New Year, because for sure we will not see each other before Christmas, and that is why I would like to wish all the best to you. And now I would like to speak on the following. We all understand that the digitization of our society is the level of development of the Republic and the country in general. And procurement is related on social and economic tasks, and it's a very effective tool for support of businesses. The improvement of regional information system in procurement is an important component of effective use of the budgetary funds and provision of transparency of the use of budgetary funds. And the digit is developing with accelerated speed, and we should comply with all of the trends, and we should follow the time. And we see that the new tools and instruments are being implemented, and it's a digital space where the government and business meet, and this is the platform that creates the ecosystem for business support. Today you will listen to Maxim Kuleshov, who is a representative of Net Fabricant tender platform, and I would like to express my gratitude to them, because this is one of the 8 tender platforms, and it's represented in all of the constituent territories of the Russian Federation. They provide transparency of tender procedures and support to the participants of tenders, and they provide support both to the customers and the contractors for the entire life cycle of procurement. And so the second thing that we are going to discuss during our roundtable, this will be related to aggregation of the small scope, because many of those who are in the audience know what it is. These would be the procurement under 800,000 rubles. Another important issue I would like to discuss, I would like to stress the following, that in 2021, based on the results of the 2021, our product that was implemented in our republic without any budgetary ruble is very effective, and it's now recommended for use in all of the constituent territories of the Russian Federation. We were supposed to provide transparency for small-size procurement procedures, and so the task was to digitize the tenders, to make it available for everyone, and to provide access to the wide circle of participants, to business. The few figures, the review of digitization of the small procurement procedures demonstrated that in the recent years we digitized about 100,000 procurement procedures in the Republic, and the total scope of the digitized procurement procedures was 10 billion rubles. This is 1/3 of the total scope of the small procurement procedures that would be an interest for the small businesses. And we have a very ambitious task by 2023, by the end of 2023, to digitize the small procurement procedures in the full scope. In the terms of dynamically changing legislation and national projects, the municipal procurement and government procurement procedures become the locomotive for digitization and also a very important tool for achievement of the objectives. And so implementing the new technologies and implementing the principles of transparency and openness of the procurement procedures, we're trying to make our procurement procedures very effective.
Спасибо большое за обратную связь.
Thank you for your feedback.
Так, ну и сейчас я тогда расскажу о
And let me speak about the solutions
предлагаем для бизнеса.
which we offer our business, about the plans
Республики планируем реализовывать след.
which we are going to implement together with the Republic next year, and the projects which we are preparing for the presentation of the Republic of Bashkortostan.
Итак, электронная площадка «Фабрикант», наверное, коллеги
Fabricant digital platform.
с ней знакомы.
I guess that you all know what I'm talking about, one of the federal platforms. And during more than 10 years, we have been a reliable partner for all the regions of Russian Federation, the state customers as well as business.
Задачу
We
на следующий год и на
set the goal for next year and the future development to form the digital space for business, to provide all the instruments necessary for participating in regulated and non-regulated procurement processes. We have two vectors of development here. We're talking about regulated and non-regulated procurement. Speaking about regulated procurement in Republic of Bashkortostan, the main four types are known: 44th Federal Law and
закон о закупке
223, the law on state procurements and procurements by the state companies. However, there are other two areas very interesting, which could be interesting to business when we're talking about additional contracts, etc.
постановления правительства.
Decree 615 by the government, the procurement for capital renovations, basically all the payments which are being paid monthly. And a separate area is the
Тоже
property of state companies, which is very developed.
реализация имущества,
We're talking about the implementation, the sales of property and sales of
с имуществом.
billboards and everything which is linked to the property of the region. You could see the whole volumes available in the Republic of Bashkortostan, and
Кратно в несколько раз эти рынки увеличились
these markets
суммарно по соседним регионам, если мы берем
are even larger in the neighboring regions, speaking about Volga region. And all over Russia we can see different areas of development for
мы считаем перспективы,
business.
которые сейчас пока
Another important area I would like to mention,
оцифровано,
which is partially partially digitized, is the procurement by the commercial companies. It's no secret that Bashkortostan has developed its industrial cluster
та же
a lot, and all the companies require paper, cleaning,
те необходимые
security,
закупки, те
and everything
товары, которые в том числе присутствуют и в регулируемом направлении.
present in the regulated areas of state customers and state companies. We believe that this has great future,
Может найти дополнительные рынки.
and local business can find the markets for them in this area. Another advantage
Банкротство. Здесь уже
is the property and bankruptcy. Here we're not talking about procurement, we're talking about sales.
крупные банки
Usually we're talking about large banks which are selling property,
реализация имущества
those of in debt.
компании.
We're talking about the commercial companies
К сожалению, на сегодня
as well. And the market can be evaluated without digitization. But judging by the research held in different regions, we're talking about very big markets, and business can procure different assets. We're talking about warehouses, offices, and absolutely different areas of expertise needed for business development. Separate area, partially digitized or not, we are calling it licenses, but to tell you the truth, we are talking about a huge spectrum of sales and procurement. Licenses for quotas, for water, for weight, for fur, for fishing, etc., etc. All the reaches of the region available and which could be shared with the business can be sold through digital means. Business can see all the offers from the region, and everything will be transparent to everybody when we're talking about the participation and reception of such quotas. And I guess our know-how, the best one, is the richness of the Republic. This project has been launched in pilot mode in one of the regions, since they requested to have a separate project for that, but I will speak about it a little bit later. So what is this digital space that we can see for us? Digital platform, the mechanism which allows the business and state to meet business, business to meet regular people, and of course the processes built on legislative level. Scope of services to participate in regulated and non-regulated procurement, to get everything from home using the digital signature. And of course the analytical system. An important tool which we pay great attention to. And let me tell you what is advantage here. Digital platform. We're talking about a platform for business and states to work together, and we are highlighting 5 wonderful areas. Functionality. We do understand that everything has to be intuitive, everything has to be flexible when we're talking about settings, because business is participating in sales and procurement. This has to be 24/7 support, real support, not conditional one. And this has been already mentioned, and we are providing such support. This is a methodical and full-fledged support, and I will tell you about what it actually includes. Indeed, we're talking about security and safety. And it's not a secret. If it was a secret for you, it will become revealed. So on the platforms, we have DDoS attacks, and we need to preserve the infrastructure and to provide for the trade capabilities. That is why we need to improve the security for all sales and procurement procedures. The Republic of Bashkortostan is way ahead of many regions, and that is why we're talking about B2B marketplaces and integration. And these are the areas which are bearing great future for many companies. Speaking about marketplace, in the pilot mode, we have launched business marketplace together with Yandex Market. Why have we decided to work within the Federal Law 223? Because it has less legal specifics and peculiarities. And considering that the Republic of Bashkortostan is working ahead of many other regions and it already digitized these processes within the 44th law, so it makes no sense for the Republic here. But for the next one, there will be integration. There has to be an integration for the business to find all the possible sales and procurements within one window. For you not to go through different aggregators and through different platforms, etc. So, and this has to be one and the same platform, which is going to be useful for you to find any interesting sale, procurement, etc. And it has to be supported by good analytics. And indeed, different areas have to be implemented, which are required for the regulated and non-regulated procurement. So, and it's not a secret, especially for those who are working in the market professionally, within the 44th federal law and 223 federal law, that digital signature is required and 44th law requires special account, and usually bank guarantees are requested. Why we consider this a digital area? These products are developed in the market and they are digitized. But let's ask ourselves, are the conditions best? And you, as business, get better conditions when you're working with bank or aggregators? We analyzed this, and we understood that many business representatives face problems when we're talking about the bank guarantees. And why is that? Because there have to be different applications in different banks. You have to analyze what financial institutes are working with different categories. There are different medical areas, etc. That is why we want to take this upon ourselves, to analyze it, to provide the best conditions for participants of the business which are working on our platform, and also to receive additional benefits, which could be different. We're working through this concept right now, and one of the concepts is as follows. When we're talking about several products, when we're working with regulated procurements, you get the third service for free, let's say consulting. There are different categories of business. Some expertises are better, some are worse, some want to strengthen their knowledge to secure themselves when they are participating in the procurement. And we have this special service called consulting. And during this consulting service, our experts are analyzing the applications, which is minimizing the risks of incorrect filling in of the application, which would affect the contract in the future. And we want to create this cross-product so that business would be more interested in working in one window to get procedures on the better conditions and then to receive additional mechanisms. We are hosting surveys. We are working with regional banks, which could be working with additional services. And we highlighted several areas for year 2023, feedback from the business, what it requires, etc. So if you are going to have some requirements which are not covered yet, it's going to be our pleasure to include them in our tool on working with financial institutes. That is why year 2023, we will digitize leasing procedure and we will open the cashier service. Auction house. What is this service about? In a way, it's an aggregator of trades when we're talking about all the types of procurements and sales in the Republic of Bashkortostan. It doesn't matter what platforms they're going to be located on and what law are they going to be based on. And one of the key tasks is linking large business, which could voice its demands
потребности в рамках региона. Соответственно,
to cover these demands within the region. What is the
объем внутренних продаж
advantage? Internal sales is increasing. All the demands are covered by the internal suppliers.
и, соответственно,
Tax base of the region is increased, and depending on that, the infrastructural, social projects are developed, and the region becomes richer.
в рамках республики уже реализован проект
Within the Republic,
питания
the food products
Кыргызстан. Это как раз-таки уже
project has been implemented, and this is the first step
республика реализовала,
taken by the Republic
как мы пришли с таким.
before we suggested this.
И что помимо регулируемых и нерегулируемых закупок может включать
But once again, what could it include?
дом? Здесь могут быть представлены в целом все богатства региона.
We could present all the riches of the region here.
Товары такие, как
Specific products.
мед, который популярен,
Honey, which is popular all over Russia.
могут его предлагать
And suppliers can use this shopping window to suggest it.
внутреннего
It's an aggregator for internal
для межрегионального.
cooperation and the interregional level.
Безусловно, какие-то
We do understand
не могут быть там.
that some resources cannot be presented there, but we are confident
Даже пушнина, которая
that furs
на рынке может быть представлена.
present in the market can be provided.
Это будет
Honey could be provided.
на всех торгов
And this is going to be an aggregator for all the trades, with all different types of sections to categorize business, and
для участия.
which would be useful to get all the tools to sell these products in the future.
И последний модуль,
And the last module, last area,
и не просто
is analytics.
должна быть и анализ,
Not just analytics, statistics and monitoring of all the different areas which are interesting to the business. What can we see here? Seasonality, price of different products,
конкуренции для того,
competition area
чтобы бизнес дальше мог развиваться.
for the business to develop
Конкуренция и
where the competition is less
А
in order to cover the demands of the region. Also, we can control different indicators important for the region. Percentage of participation of SMEs in region, as well as participation of local representatives in all the procurements of the region. And because
уровня
region
и уровня,
has procurements of the
в том числе и
regional level and municipal level. Also, there are federal customers which are working on their own, and these are additional niches for the business to expand the pool of contracts. And of course, it's going to be multi-channel approach in the future, which actually suggests additional modules being used, which are going to be interesting to the business in the region. Those could be the data of the
То есть это такая коллаборация
taxation level. These could be the
направлений, которая будет важна для
information on the legislation, etc. Everything is which could be interesting to the business. Also, we wanted to highlight the areas of business which require the regional support in particular,
требуется предоставить, возможно, какие-то преференции.
in order to provide some benefits, preferences, to increase control, to host different educational procedures,
На верхнем уровне,
to highlight them on a high level in the aggregator for the local business to draw its attention to it. And for that, we also have solution,
предлагать региону
which is going to be suggested to the region.
тема грантов.
We are talking about the grant systems, one of the modules which will allow to evaluate what area of business is needed
Это будет тот инструмент,
for stimulation. And this is going to be the tool which is going to create transparency in understanding how exactly the grants are distributed and according to what rules. That is why, dear colleagues, if you have some suggestions on digitization of processes which you require for your work,
вам не хватает.
if you lack some data in order to participate in the procurement, regulators or not, it's going to be our pleasure to receive your feedback and to implement it in our digital projects. Thank you for your attention.
Далее
And then I would like to give the floor to Aidar about digitization of procurement. Good afternoon, dear participants. Digitization is the topic that is now in our everyday life. We have it not only in everyday life, but also in our occupational environment, in education, culture, healthcare, sports, trade, government services, and management. And government procurement is not an exception. Digits in procurement is related to automation. All of the processes take place in integrated space. We have the unified approach, one business process, one legally significant electronic exchange of documentation, unified database, and unlimited ability to process a lot of data, big data. So access to platforms and portal and internet. These principles are the foundation of the information subsystems of procurement procedures for small volumes in Bashkortostan. This work has been conducted together with aggregator of small procurement procedures, 8MO. So the transfer from hard copies to online format provided the following advantages to the users: simplicity in work and interaction with the government and municipal customers, and transparency, ability to work remotely, dashboards, the environment that allowed to obtain the analytic information. ATMO is the platform for participation of all of the entrepreneurs in government and municipal procurement procedures, and also ability to overcome any barriers and for customers and contractors and suppliers of services. And we have also some features, our Republican features, and this is related to the fact that we are able to get the positive feedback both from the customers and from suppliers. And I would like to ask to start the video about 8MO platform.
АТМО – это информационная система.
ATMO is the information system, the aggregator for small-scope procurement, for procurement procedures up to 600,000 rubles for the suppliers and customers in Bashkortostan. The idea was to create a universal procurement solution that will be easily transformed into procurement ecosystem. The market is growing, the interest of business is growing, and in general, it's a very good platform for implementation of projects. The information ATMO is a very handy tool for the customer to be able to create the commercial office, collect the commercial office from suppliers during 5 minutes, register, and next day take part in tenders. And the main key of this tool is the simplicity. As soon as this aggregator appeared in Bashkortostan, there appeared an opportunity to find more suppliers, potential suppliers who could provide products at cheaper prices. So this ATMO platform gives an opportunity to sell products all over Bashkortostan. And one should not be afraid of it. Everything is easy. And if you don't understand anything, they provide technical support. You are able to call them and they will explain everything to you. Our joint effort with the developers and government committees is constantly oriented on improvement of procurement process. 8MO is a live ecosystem that is being continuously developed. We're adding new services, we're expanding and polishing the existing functions of this platform. And if you are interested in more details, this will be provided by the developer of this platform, Oleg Gafarov. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Before I start to tell you about our system, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this forum, the administration of the Republic of Bashkortostan, and also the management of the Committee on Competitive Policy, and all representatives of business. First of all, I did not raise a task to tell you about our wonderful company, how beautiful we are, and how useful we are. But I would like to concentrate on those tasks and objectives that we have for ourselves, and I would like to explain you why there will be a positive impact on business climate in our republic, and also it will be a positive impact on of all of our colleagues. My name is Oleg Gafarov. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 8MO company. That is the technical operator of the information subsystem for small-size procurement procedures in Bashkortostan. In occupational circles, it is called such systems are called e-shops, e-commerce. But as for my personal opinion, speaking about our plans, 8MO is something more than just a tool for electronic selection of suppliers and contractors and customers, based on the federal legislation. Speaking about the history of creation, in 2019, the Government Committee on Competitive Policy decided to find own solution how to digitize small-scale procurement procedures. I will just remind you about the course of events. In July 2019, based on the decree of the head of the Republic, we started to develop this system. And the first time when we initiated the first discussion was July 2019. Why I would say just minor steps were implemented is the fact that never before such steps had been made, neither here nor in Russia. And plus, we needed to understand the user steps, times, time frames, everything. But you should also understand that we were very much constrained for time. But nevertheless, our interaction with this Government Committee on Competitive Policy was the government-private partnership, and the government was an investor, and the committee was a regulator and the customer. I'm not going to overburden you with technical details, but based on these cooperative efforts, we succeeded, and in October 2020, by the decree of the head of Bashkortostan, we implemented the electronic subsystem for all of the customers and suppliers. Here on slide, you can see the efficiency, the demonstration of efficiency of this aggregator for small procurements. Here we have over 4,000 customers, about 12,000 suppliers registered, and for 2022, about 9 billion rubles came through this system, and for Bashkortostan it was more than 660,000 rubles for 2 years. Understanding such an approach to realization of the government tasks, we wanted to demonstrate the unique practice of cooperation with the government of Bashkortostan. We also reported at different forums and also at forums dedicated to government order at St. Petersburg Economic Forum in 2021. And to resume, I would just like to say that 8MO project was highly appraised by the Procurement Guild. And as Gulshat have already paid attention to, it was the best, recognizes the best practice of the government Council on Small and Medium Entrepreneurship. At the moment, this IT tool is included into Russian IT tools list and is recommended for further implementation in other regions of Russia. Speaking about the technology of the system, I would like to say that we're using the modular architecture of the system that allows to adjust the product to any external changes and requests, and also make changes to the platform in the shortest time possible. Also, for development of the new functionals and also development of the platform, we use the agile model. So this method allows for our developers to make everything faster and to provide highly valuable product to our clients. So we do our work as small steps or iterations, as we say. Also, we estimate the development plans for every operation, for every step, and we raise another objective. So we have the user control. Also, by this, we understand the permanent interaction of our technical support team with the users of the system for us to be able to respond and to adjust the system, polish the system based on their needs and demands, and also we accumulate skills for further development of the system. As for the novelties that appeared in the system, I would like to say that in September, we have provided the service for due diligence for the counterpart due diligence for those who are registered in the information system, because the subscription is quite expensive, and in our case, it's a very simple tool. We have also improved the electronic document exchange system, and here I would like to describe it in more details as far as the electronic circulation. Electronic document exchange allows to save money, as I've already mentioned, to budget and to supplies. Why? It's easy because the hard copy circulation is more expensive than electronic document exchange. Besides, if you sign the agreement in electronic format, you will never lose it and you will always find it in the system. And now I will tell you about the development. What we are planning in terms of development of the electronic document exchange system. We have provided the user manuals that allow us to get training about this system. And also, we are working on implementation of the user scenarios that would allow us to provide training interactively. And for the users, it would provide the ability to improve their knowledge about using this system. And so for us, we wanted to make the system easy. We wanted this functional to be very simple. Simplicity is the main criteria. So far, we're trying to avoid of any extra access operations that make this system unhandy. The technical support in our system is provided only by means of a chat. Primarily, we have decided to stay away from call center, because call center is not just the consultancy, and if we get telephone calls, we will not be able to provide the full scope of information that the user will need. So we will not be able to provide high-quality support, because sometimes we will ask for the screenshot or links to the user manual or database, knowledge database. So I'm not going to stick to technical support any longer, but speaking of user training procedures, next year we are planning some events, both online and offline training for the system users, and we will certainly inform the government committee and the users of the system, both for the customers and suppliers, for us to be able to explain how to make the system more effective, how to use the system effectively, what should be taken into consideration, and once we produce the new functional, we will certainly explain how to utilize these functions. Speaking about evolution of our system, it is shown on this slide. This is the future of our system. In our vision, we mainly base on recommendations from the government committee, and together with them, we develop and we implement the next modules. The models of contract execution, this is everything related to document circulation and document electronic exchange. And we follow whether the contracts are executed, so it will be able to track this by means of document circulation in the system, entering the information into the system. Anti-dumping procedures. It's not a secret that when we deal with procurement, some suppliers dump the prices. And so far, this anti-dumping module will allow the customer to receive information about the proposal, whether the proposal is objective or not, whether the supplier recognizes the information they provide. So for next year, this module will appear in the system.
Регион происхождения товара.
The region of origin.
Для республики, для
For the Republic, for the government committee, it is very important to know where these regions are coming from, to be able to understand how to develop the business, how to have own suppliers, how to provide new markets for them. That is why,
предложения поставщика.
upon submission of proposals by suppliers, so we propose that the supplier will provide information about the country and region of origin
Механизм
for the goods. And also, our rating mechanism is not very effective, and so far we have developed the new mechanisms for supplier rating that allow us to rate the suppliers more effectively. I'm not going to get into details here, but it will be provided in our database of knowledge, and this module will be implemented next year.
нами сейчас реализовывается,
We are also working,
отдельно хочу остановиться на
I'm going to describe in the details.
нету следующего слайда. Вот он, да. Год назад мы
A year ago, we have launched the Republican Marketplace project, Bush Market. In 2022, it was the time of stagnation, and now we are planning
базе модуля разрабатываем
that based on ATML module for procurement procedures for companies that are mainly working with Federal Law 223
положениями.
for federal procurement procedures, we are planning to integrate it with the marketplace.
Два главных тезисов.
As for the main ideas of my presentation,
Ну, скажем так, marketplace можно провести
I would
аналогию.
tell you that marketplace would be similar to Ozone, Wildberries, or any other. It will not compete with such
Но
gigantic players of the market.
тех поставщиков, которые находят себе клиент,
But for all suppliers who are looking for their clients at marketplaces, where the fee or commission is considered,
и часть выручки
the part of the revenue gets to the operators of the marketplaces. At the moment, we are coming close to development of this module that would allow the customers to procure in a similar way as it is done with Federal Law 44. But we think that the information system for the contractors who work with the 223 Federal Law,
большей части являющихся коммерческими организациями,
that are mainly the commercial companies, business companies, so that this would make more effective, we mean the system of procurement, because they will see no need to compete with the marketplaces, but we still believe in the need for these regional marketplaces. That is why we decided that the Bush market shall be free for B2B and B2C sectors, and also we consider
витрины предложений
this as an opportunity to have the screen for proposals
классическому блоку,
in addition to existing procurement sessions.
то, что сейчас уже есть по 44 ФЗ. По итогу заказчики получат больше
Based on this,
220
the contractors will get the same and easier way of procurement. The market will be filled with the proposals,
производителей.
valid proposals, and the manufacturers will get
Инструмент по продаже
a tool for sales and promotion of their goods into market, maybe not as effective as Wildberries or Ozone, but anyway. And this will be also the opportunity for those interested stakeholders to procure the products and goods.
с маркетплейсом
Also, it will be integrated,
информационной системой
the procurement systems will be integrated with Bush Market,
означает начало формирования экосистемы.
and this will allow us to start the formation of the ecosystem in the region that would provide the new opportunities for the businesses to develop.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
Я, Максим, если позволите, хотела бы несколько слов добавить. Вот этот
I would like to add a little bit about this. Don't remove this slide, please. So Oleg has shown this. Year 21-22, before the stagnation. Those who are present might misunderstand this, but let us
конкуренты политики.
say the following. Our Committee on the Competition Policy is, first of all, the executional branch which performs the task of the government, and our task is to make the procurement transparent, to follow,
правового поля,
to do everything for them to be legally
стагнации.
proper. Our year was in stagnation, actually, in this case. I love working with those who
Мою сумасшедшую идею пытается хотя бы
tries
мыслить.
to understand any my crazy idea, and then, together with us, to look for the tools to implement it. We have a very interesting set of plans.
Есть очень перспективные планы.
We have great future on centralization of particular types of procurement, and we're working together with the Ministry of Healthcare, and I wanted to say thank you to them, because we are working together with them. And there is particular economy of we're saving on different
Спасибо.
resources, and of course the quality of the products which they are providing for us. Thank you for our activities, and moreover we have
Дальше развиваться.
different ideas with different companies. You who are present here do understand that procurement is a very interesting topic. You just don't leave your job and stop thinking about this. You think about it all the time. You have many ideas on, and you are thinking how to make it more available, how to make it fun.
Разговаривали с Олегом.
Before the beginning of this event, we were speaking together, we were talking about this with Oleg, and I hope that this idea will mature by my birthday and we will share it with you, that's for sure. And moreover, when we're talking about the importance of
Нашими поставщиками
our
у нас производство.
suppliers and our producers and manufacturers, we also had another idea. We would like to know where our suppliers are sending their products, where they are working, where they get the services provided. That is why when we're looking for some niche,
Кто-то из наших поставщиков,
let's say some of our
пусть это будет шум,
suppliers, let's say they provide screws to Kaliningrad, to Belarus, wherever, but they are needed in our Uchili region, the region of Bashkir Republic. We are working together with we are both the regulator and we're doing monitoring. We have great analytics here, and by that we have to provide for these niches for our own people, for the logistics to be simpler, for the people to spend less money to organize different processes. In the end, supply points
допустим, заказчики были обеспечены.
for our suppliers to be provided with this particular list of products and for it to cost some money. You shouldn't go to Moscow through St. Petersburg. That is the main idea, and that is why we are doing a lot of work. And using this chance, I would like to express my gratitude to all those
Заказчиков за активность.
state and municipal
Почему вот после
customers for their initiatives and their work. Why did I decide to start speaking after Oleg? When I started working in the state committee, I saw that what's more actually is misunderstood, because it is needed for us to move to the digital world and not to use paper anymore. Not just to do that, but also to show the
поставщиков
most amount of suppliers for them to see
спальным заказчикам.
what is needed
Казалось
to
бы,
the state and municipal customers, up to 600,000. Yes, you saw the amount. You saw the numbers. The saving is more than 500 million. So, and here we're talking about 2 kindergartens, more than kindergartens. And these are serious social facilities. They are not something extra. And if we believe that we're doing the right thing, and if we are performing the state task,
отмота,
we won't need to convince anybody to work with us. They will do it all as they wish to do that, because this is going to be their wish. We are working with the fabricants, and we are also working with other 7 federal platforms. Just yesterday, we had a wonderful methodological seminar with Sberbank for our suppliers and not the customers. We're working with both parties, not only one, just to combine the interests and find some balance. But our main task is to perform state functions. That is why we have to follow the fact that the state money has to be spent in a proper manner. Thank you. That's it from on my behalf, dear Maxim. So, okay, thank you very much. I think that the most interesting module is going to be the last one. Questions and answers.
Ну, давайте, если они у вас есть, это
Okay, if you have those, it's good. If you don't,
заставлять себя не нужно. Я считаю, что
don't push yourselves. Unfortunately, the person is not speaking into the microphone.
я прошу прощения, можно микрофон к себе повернуть?
I'm sorry, could you please switch on the microphone?
Есть у нас процедура двухчасовая.
There is a procedure, 2-hour procedure.
Предусмотрена, потому что срочная какая-то.
It is created in case there is the urgent requirements in some services, but there is no mechanism on behalf of the supplier. I had a case. I actually uploaded things for 2 hours, and they actually have 3 hours to create a protocol of the controversies, and then they send some weird stuff back to us, and they are just actually making it all too long. So it's 8 calendar days, not just 3 working days. And in the end, this work is not needed. And this is the problem. So we actually work through this process. We have the technical capabilities. Most of the suppliers of the services and products are very diligent. But once again, sometimes we get those things on absolutely non-timely basis. And we would like to ask you to take a look at those things. And maybe together with the State Committee, you could think of this. And maybe we should have some feedback, not to meet during the forums once per year and to ask questions, to write to you when we have some suggestions or maybe questions. How can we build up the dialogue? That is the question. We are talking about dialogue on and on here. Okay, thank you very much for your question. Yeah, that's the thing actually we have to do. Everything according to the rules. Now, moving to the meat of the topic. We know what the problem is now. Thank you for mentioning it. We'll work on this. Okay, we're working in procurement, and during the day we are facing a million occasions. We are facing different absurd situations on behalf of suppliers, on behalf of customers, and sometimes we have to jump around different things. And speaking about our relations, we have websites and we have QR code. You could use it to enter our pages, to look at the pages of our committee. It's so bad that you actually didn't show those QR codes in the screens. We have Q&A section on our website, and I personally, in the end of the day, make sure that everybody answers all the questions which are asked. Using our website, you can ask every question you have, and we will reply to that question as fast as possible. Thank you. Yes, let me add. So we know about the problem which you have already mentioned, and we are developing together with the State Committee, not only within the regulation times, but also this has to be a part of our decree and the order of the State Committee. We know about this problem. We're working on the technology, and we will find it next year. You will find it next year. Once again, I was speaking about the development of the platform from different points of view, and not from the point of view of the customers of the Law 406. Once again, speaking about the technical supports, we're gathering all the information, we are systematizing it, and based on those, we are improving our system. That is why I want to express my gratitude to our users, both the customers and suppliers, because they are the ones who are suggesting us how to make it simpler, how to develop it properly, how to make it more comfortable, and for it to be clearer. Thank you.
Коллеги, еще вопросы?
Dear colleagues, any more questions?
Ну что ж, если вопросов нет,
Well, if there are none, Let me express my gratitude to everybody for participating in our session. Thank you to the State Committee. And to be frank, I'm glad to represent the federal platform and to meet business face-to-face, to tell about all the vectors of development which we are planning to implement and to develop. Thank you very much for your participation. It was a very useful meeting, and we are always open to the dialogue. Moreover, we are initiating the dialogue because we have to raise different topics. Thank you very much. Enjoy your meals. And of course, I hope that you are feeling well now that the new year is coming. Thank you.